Today's social media segment is brought to you by Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. CIS, Cardiovascular Institute of the South, the highest quality cardiovascular care available. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality.
Everybody, welcome back to Bite Time. Harry McCullough here. It is summertime. It's evacuation time if the hurricane comes our way. It's heat time. Get out of the heat and don't stay out there. But that all applies to not only people, but also pets. And here to talk a little more about that, Valerie Robinson, the manager of the Terrebonne Parish Animal Shelter. Thanks so much for being with us. And you brought a friend. That's Pickles, right?
As usual, this is Pickles. Pickles is about a 2.5-month-old little guy. He almost looks like he's very squirmy, so we'll try to get through this.
I can hear him. Yeah.
He's purring. You can hear him. So he almost looks like he got caught dipping his face in the milk jar. Let's see that.
That's a good-looking boy. Hey, Pickles. Yeah, so a great-looking guy and one of many, right? So we were talking. We laughed. You said summertime's kind of y'all busy time, and it goes from March to November, summertime, right? And really an extended climate control summertime. Busy, but right now you're right in the middle of it. And you said between 500 and 700 animals a month are dropped off, which I needed to calculate, but that's between 17 and 24 animals a day people dropping off at your place.
We are high volume and at max capacity, and we have been for the last couple of months. Usually it starts somewhere around in March, like we said, and for the last couple of months we've seen a super high volume of animals coming in. So our intake, 500 to 700. I think last month was over 500 animals coming in the doors. So yeah, we don't, we're very busy.
That's strays, that's aggressive animals, and people being dropped off. Right?
Exactly. So that's all of the above. Aggressive, stray, injured, homeless, abused, surrenders, things like that. Mm-hmm.
That's an incredible number. And I know you got a staff of hundreds out there that you're dealing with. Right?
Whew,
I know what you guys are dealing with. So
we're running on an everyday basis. We are running.
So if anybody can come get Pickles,
yep,
he's
$25.
Ready to go.
So he's ready to go. He's raring to go. He doesn't want to come and visit here. He wants to go into a new home.
That's a good
he's $25 adoption fees though.
Yeah, that's awesome. So let's talk about this time of year. First of all, it's hot. We if you turn on weather, and they're not showing you a hurricane, they're saying, hey, we're in an excessive heat warning, and that's the time we're in. So don't go out with your animals and leave them in the car, right?
Exactly. So don't take your pets right now. We've seen animals die in the vehicle this summer so far. Just people thinking they can go into the store for a few minutes, they get tied up, and literally under 20 minutes, animals have died. That's in our parish, and that's not something that's like, right, somewhere else. Right? It's here, it's too hot, don't bring them. And it's also very hot on the pavement. Don't walk them on the pavement. And honestly, right now, if it's not really, late at night or early in the morning, it's just not a good time to walk them at all. So keep them home and keep them hydrated.
Yeah, look, if you walk through a forest right now, you're not going to see any animals at noon, right? Nope. You'll see them in the morning and see them at night, and that's probably the better way for domestic animals as well. But yeah, if you can get a chance to get them inside, probably not the best time to leave them just outside.
Nope, absolutely not. Right now, we're seeing dogs outside have heat strokes just from playing outside for a few minutes. So outside, inside in the cool, as soon as they're done using the bathroom.
And different breeds, we don't all just look for Louisiana dogs, right? We have Huskies that are down here. We have Bulldogs that aren't used to heat, that kind of stuff. So all of those guys need a break. The signs of heat stroke, I was looking at this on that same board. Vomiting, pale gums, weakness, panting, drooling, collapsing, or dizziness. So what should they do if any of those things
If they see that, and their panting is usually the first sign. If they see that, the first thing to do is to douse the animal in water as soon as possible. So fully take the water hose over the animal completely and douse the animal with as much water as you possibly can. Ice packs are good to put under the armpits and by the paw pads where they take in the coldness. But that is an immediate reaction. If you don't react immediately, you are likely to lose that pet.
Yeah, and the mouth is one of the only ways to get rid of heat, right?
That's why they're
panting so much and trying to get going. Also, do you guys have a pet safety hurricane checklist? Because unfortunately, it's that time in Louisiana, and we've already seen it's going to be active, and there's a big monster out there, hopefully doesn't come anywhere near us. But always, besides knowing where you're going or if you got to leave or if your house is ready, know what you're going to do with your pet, because a lot of people get on the road and go, what, the pet can't stay here?
Exactly.
And it causes issues.
So we preach year-round preparations for evacuation, preparations for sheltering in the event that you have to leave your house, even if it's short-term, or even if it's a short location. So if you have to go to your friend's house, there's a few items that we always preach that you get ahead of time, and that's a pet carrier. You want to get a microchipped animal ahead of time. So that way, in the event that he loses his collar or tags, you want him to have a collar or tag, but in the event that he loses that, he's permanently identified. Current on vaccinations is another big deal, because depending on where you go, they might require that. They should require that, especially rabies vaccinations. A current photo of your pet, some leash collars, bowls, things that you would take, on if you went somewhere with your pet normally. But a lot of people forget that ID that is super important, because their animal might be in the house at all times, and then all of a sudden, they're not, and they're not used to wearing that collar or ID. They slip out of it. So there's a lot of things that you can do to prepare your animal. Like cats need litter boxes and litter scoops. You may forget that at home. Make sure that they have their medicine. Make sure that you're calling your vet ahead of time to have all their refills or whatever they might need in terms of medication as well. So yeah, there's a lot that you can do to prepare your pet. And please make sure that go to our website. It's tpcg.org/disaster. That's a whole list of what you can do to prepare your pet for an emergency. It has a lot of information on it.
Right. And, and then we got the 4th of July coming around. So, there's going to be firecrackers and all that kind of stuff. But like this guy that we were looking at, he's ready for the 4th.
He's ready for the 4th, but most dogs and cats are not.
Right.
They do not know what day of the month it is or the day of the year. And so when the firecrackers start going off, all of them usually will get, yes. And so there's a lot. Number one day of the year that we get the most lost reports, July 5th, because animals are very scared and they're not prepared for that. What we always recommend is call your vet now if your pet needs medication. Don't wait till July 3rd to do that, tomorrow to do that, because they're going to be very busy filling medication. And also keep them inside and on a leash and ID. So if they do get loose, please put identification on them so that we can get them back home to you.
Get them back home for sure. Well, Valerie, thanks so much for the updates, and good luck to Pickles.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back with more Bayou Time after this.
Structural heart disease refers to a defect in the heart's valves, walls, or chambers that keeps the heart from pumping blood properly. Valve or structural heart problems may be present at birth or develop over time. Your risk increases if you have high blood pressure, plaque buildup, history of heart attack, take certain medications, or have certain heart infections. The Structural Heart Program at CIS and Terrebonne General provides innovative solutions and devices with the latest technology to bring the best possible outcomes for patients. Learn more at cardio.com.